All right, we are here documenting Joe's chiropractic journey. He is off camera as he asked to not be filmed, but still wants to be a part of this process. So Joe came into my office experiencing low back pain, along with a great deal of neck pain, which he mentioned is pretty bothersome. I do want to note that Joe has just came back from a 9-month deployment serving in the Army. And last week, if you remember Joe, we went through a quick exam assessing some different ranges of motion throughout the body, and I just wanted to share with you what I found from that. So starting with the neck, which I believe to be your biggest issue you're experiencing, did not only feel very stiff, as you said, definitely had a limited range of motion, especially when I asked you to send your head up into the back. Now this indicated to me that you may have multiple vertebrae misaligned and at play here, but I needed to confirm with x-ray. So now moving to the lower back, I definitely noticed some misalignments at that lumbosacral junction, and with your left hip. So your left leg I found to be slightly shorter than your right leg by about 1/4 of an inch. And there was some swelling that I found right above that left hip joint. Now those two things to me were pretty indicative that your this is your sacrum and this is your hip. Your hip joint rocked backwards or posterior in that hip joint and is no longer properly aligned with that sacrum. And this could definitely be attributing to some of that low back pain that you have been experiencing. So after assessing these areas, we then went and took some x-rays. Now this first x-ray I'm going to show you is of your neck. Now the main thing I would like to address is the curve, or I should really say the lack of curve in this region. So now that I've shown you yours, I will show you normal. Now this is what we would expect to see in the in that neck region of the spine, where we have this nice big curve in the neck, and that curve is actually there to help reduce a lot of tension from holding your head up all day. Now when that gets straight, that can definitely add to a lot of neck pain and a lot of different issues. And since you mentioned that you're in the Army all day, this could be a result of those long and heavy rucks and always being on the go. So definitely want to help relieve this neck pain with a few adjustments, and hopefully it will also help to prevent any further straightening of this region with exercises and continued care. So this next x-ray is of your hip joints. As you can see from the lines drawn, this left hip is a little lower than what we would like to see. This is another area that I would like to address during our adjustments to help free up any pain or difficulty you may have walking, and that such with that low back. And then now this is that lumbosacral junction I was talking about. Now I did notice that your L5 vertebrae, your very last vertebrae in your spine, has moved slightly forward or anterior. Now it hasn't moved enough to be a great deal of concern at the moment. However, this is something I definitely want to monitor and definitely don't want moving forward anymore. So this is definitely something we are going to also attack during our visits. Now, you may be wondering if receiving chiropractic treatment is right for you. And I want to express my goal of restoring not only your range of motion, but the function of your nervous system as well. Now, at the joints where you are experiencing these misalignments, there are nerves from the spine which exit at these junctions. The pressure of the bone on these nerves can have a wide range of effects depending on the location and severity of their nature. Now, the best way to address these issues is with the chiropractic adjustment, where we are able to restore function and reduce tension in these areas. Now, I do fully believe that receiving treatment will not only help to address the areas where you're experiencing pain, will also help you to achieve your optimum level of health. Now, do you have any questions regarding what we have gone through so far? or the goals of our visits? No. Okay, cool. So again, looking at these areas, I would like to start off with 2 visits a week for 4 weeks. I know that sounds like quite a lot, but I do want to address this curvature of your neck before we move into maintenance and preventative care. I really want to try to address this as quickly as we can. So then after 4 weeks, we will reevaluate and maybe move down to once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But you know, every case is different. I really just want to take the best care of you as we can. Does that all sound good with you? Okay, cool. Well, awesome. The receptionist out front will go over more of the financials with you to figure out a payment plan that's most appropriate. I will say generally it is $25 for an adjustment and $50 for the initial x-rays, but there are different options that we will discuss with you and figure out. So that is nothing to be worried about in any way. If you have nothing else for me, then we will wrap this up and we will check back in after 10 visits, okay? Sounds good. Thank you, Joe. All right, just finished our 10th adjustment round with Joe. Again, Joe will not be on camera for this discussion. However, I did just want to point out that Joe has been feeling a lot better. He has reported that his neck pain has definitely reduced a lot. He's definitely seen a lot better of a range of motion in his neck. And the low back, from what he said, is basically worked wonders. Hasn't felt anything bothersome down there, which is everything we've expected to see so far. And I'm glad that everything's working appropriately. Now we will have to, after our 8th session, we did move down to once a week. We weren't ready yet for that once to every 2 weeks because we just still need to see a little bit more improvement, get some more range and motion in that neck. We're still very limited when it comes to that extension of the head. And again, reducing any tension is going to be the best way that to address Joe in this situation. Now, Joe said that he has very much enjoyed being here, and we hope to have a long and great journey together. Thank you.